Hello YouTube fans, here again, and I figure why not? As I'm doing Masters of the Universe, why not the original, the classic, 1987 Masters of the Universe. I reviewed the latest one being the 2026 one, so why not the original? I did some of the animated series, so why not the original? So we're gonna go with it. We're gonna go with it. Let's see if I've got it. It's there. Can't be asked picking it out. It's there. I found it at last, but I remember where it is. So we're gonna go with it. At the time, Tannen was thinking about making it big, and we all know the toy figures, the animated series. It was big. It was real popular. So they decided, Tannen, to do a movie version of He-Man, meaning Masters of the Universe. And so it was the worst one. As I say, my favourite film, it was a bad time. It was a bad time because Tannen was well known for doing a lot of B movies, a lot of B action films. Don't get me wrong, they had to do films I like. How can I put it? American Ninja, Mission in Action, Force of USA, Mission in Action 2. They did loads and loads of these well-known action films, some dud, some not so dud. And they wanted to go Hollywood. They wanted to go fucking Hollywood. The Water Buffers, Tannen decided to do He-Man. And what they did was they went dirt cheap. So they remember the film Superman 4, the test for shit, as I like to call it. There was a reason why it looked cheap. The reason why it looked cheap. I know why? Because it was fucking cheap. Tannen cheapened the budget to make Masters of the Universe. And I don't know why. There are bits I like, there are bits. It's not a rant, because I can watch Masters of the Universe as a time waster, but there are bits I would say it's not aged well. It's not aged well. So the first bit I do actually like. I like the bit where you see the Tassel Estate out, and you've got the monologue, and then you've got the music. I've got to admit, that music hits the shit out the 10 fucking 6 one. The 10 one, I've forgotten it. The 87 one, I remember it. That's like a Fencer feel. It's an Fencer sort of feel to it, and I love it. I love the bits where the words are flying out and so on. Now, at the time, Dolph Lundgren was a new face. 1985 for us, he made it big. You know, he was an extra in the Bond film Future a Kill. If you blink, you might miss him. He played a JCP minor in a Future a Kill. And the same there, he made it big, you know what I mean? Thanks because of Dave Jones, who was in a Future a Kill. She got him known, and they decided to have him in Rocky 4. And Rocky 4, this was the career of him, you know. So they decided to have him in Masters of the Universe. And there's bits in it where I felt maybe he should have stayed on more into action films and so on, because you look at the animated one, you look at Dolph Lundgren, you can kind of see where they're going there. But I do think it was good. You know, he had the muscles then. He was in his 20s. This is a Dolph Lundgren I miss. I fucking miss. And one thing I like about it is you don't get the fucking the animated voice. Imagine, man. Imagine you got He-Man and halfway through it you got the guy who did the fucking voice to the animated series making a disappearance like Dolph Lundgren did in the 76 one. Don't get into that shit. So, they're in the desert. It's fucking... remember the name of the fucking place. It'll come to me. Atoria. So you've got Atoria, and I like the way it looks. You know, you've got He-Man, he comes out, he saves his thing. They obviously didn't have the money for awful. So you've got this irritating little fucker. And He-Man slicing and dicing, and then you've got this magical thing. Stereotor has took fucking, remember, the Sorcerer. And again, the Sorcerer, I don't really fucking think a lot of her. T-Lot, she's alright. I like the Man of Arms. I've got to admit, the actor does look pretty like him. And they've got this magical thing, Stellator's after it, and they get sucked into our era. That's when the film goes down. Seeing him in America goes down. So you've got one actress, you think you've seen her before, think of Friends. Been that a lot of other things and all. You might remember her in Steam and all that. And it becomes their fucking story. You got her and a fucking old bear. And we got the idea that she lost her mum and dad in a horrible accident. It goes downhill. After that bit, I feel they cheapened it because it's more their fucking story. Dolph London is good, but I don't think they give him a lot to fucking do. I do like the bit where he's on the surfboard though, when he's slicing and dicing. I've got to admit though, people don't like the film, but I've got to admit, Iron to 2 did it better. Did it better? Shoot me, because I know a lot of people don't like Iron to 2, but I think Iron to 2 did that better. But I do like the idea. And like I said, he's after thing looks like a keyboard. That's what I like to call it. Skeletor wants it. And I've got to admit, the Beast in this is a lot more nastier than the animated series. Fuck the 76 one. Beast doesn't fuck about in this. So it gets the fucking thing. He batters people here, there, everywhere. I've got to admit, the dude's a dud one to play Evil Lynn. Now, this was a bit like I said about the animated series where she disguises herself. And I've got to admit, this really shows how evil Lynn is because she disguises herself as the mum to get the fucking thing. She gets wounded and He-Man things. And there's one actor, sad to say, no longer with us. You might remember him playing the teacher in Back to the Future. He plays a cop in this. I can take him or leave him. He's alright. Sad to say, he's no longer with us. Same style as me. And I do like the bit, I mean, the tats are fucking He-Man, they're ripping him with this red laser rip, what I thought was pretty cool. He's back now in Astoria. This is the bit where they did actually lower the money. Because people think Skeletor and He-Man are fighting, it looks like it's darkened. They had no money to do anything else. That's what I mean, Tannen was the worst company to work with. There was worse. But I do like Fantello. If you think of Fantello think of the actor that played Dracula. Very good actor. And I've got to admit, the makeup and everything, there's bits where I do feel that Fantello is chewing the scenery. But for what he's doing, I could buy Skeletor. I like his voice more than the animated one. Yeah. That voice just annoyed me. So Fantello, there's bits where I feel tone it down a bit, mate, but there's bits where I think he's doing a really good job. So he fights with Skeletor, he knocks him to his doom, they get the keyboard, and this irritating fucking thing, so annoying. He says, what do you want? And they go back, and the Durf out of fence, I'll just go to that. She says, no, but then she finds that it's happened, mum and dad are alive, and you get a bit where He-Man, played by Dolph London, does that, by the powers of Daystar, and it ends like that. But I didn't mind it for what it was, but there are bits I do feel it was downhill. Tannen, they should have given the company to someone else, because Tannen went cheap at the end. And there's bits in it where I want to see Atoria more, but because again, they didn't have the budget, they went back to America, and I think that's where it went downhill. And it's the same. And the thing is, they wanted to make a big film. They had plans to make the sequel. You've heard me refer it. It's still up there. And it didn't. It bombed. The film bombed epically. And they didn't want Dolph Lundgren anyway. They actually hated Dolph Lundgren after this. So they were going to get another actor. There was a lot of things. If it's still up, you can see He-Man Part 2, the one what never was. It's still on my channel if you want to see that. So I'm not going to repeat what I said back then. It'll be on there. But I don't think Dolph Lundgren did a bad job. I just felt when he got to America, back into the end of what it was, 87, it became the Doom. We all remember Out of Fence, did Cocoon the Return and all that. Her fucking boyfriend. It became their fucking story. It became their story. And it's like, we want to see more He-Man. We want to see Adam. We want to see the fucking back attack and everything. And that's what went wrong with Masters of the Universe, the 87 one. People wanted it to be more like the animated series. They wanted to see more in Atoria. They wanted to see all that shit. And because it was with Tannen at the time was just dying it out. And they went down at that point anyway, Tannen. They went down. When there was had ideas for He-Man, Masters of the Universe 2, never got to be because they never had the money. And at the time, just go back to my channel, you know what I'm on about. It never happened. It ended in Sideboard, another dud film. But again, I don't think Dolph Lundgren's the problem. I don't think he was the problem. I'd have loved to see him again as He-Man. There was 2 rumours why it never happened. The same one, Tannen didn't want him, and the other one was Dolph Lundgren didn't want to be typecasted doing toy figure characters. So it says He-Man. But for what it was, it's there. I'll give it a 3-star. Dolph Lundgren, I do prefer the music more to the 26 one. It does have some potential, but again, the worst company was Tannen. And they didn't do didn't have any favours. You know, they insulted fucking Sylvester Stallone. Same there when he was doing Over the Top. Sylvester Stallone, Tannen, whatever. But the film, I didn't mind it for what it was. I just don't think it aged well, you know what I mean? Maybe now because I'm a man. I don't think Sorcerer did it for me. Teela, it was nice, pretty to look at. I do think Man of Arms, the actor that played him in this one, was a lot better than the one in the 26 one. Just my opinion. There's just bits in there I just felt that it had to do its own thing at the time. But I didn't like that because they preferred the animated one. But for what it was, I didn't mind it. So I do it a 3-star into them. Be smart. Be safe. See you later.